Welcome back to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Sean and Sean Miller, giving their thoughts, opinions, and analysis on how to bet, where to bet, and who to bet on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet, our HowToBet.com podcast. We thank you for joining us, whether you're listening or watching on YouTube. We appreciate it. We know there's a gazillion different options, so we appreciate you watching and listening to us. And those of you on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell. That subscribe button doesn't cost you anything. All our picks here are free.
That's right.
Free. You'll never be asked for any money when you go to howtobet.com or when you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You're not going to be asked for money. So hit that subscribe button, go down a little further to the description box, hit those links, and then you're going to find previews. Sean, the Genius Miller's previews, injury updates, / COVID updates, so they're important.
Man.
Odds, they're changing because of COVID, and then exclusive offers to different sports books around the country. Also go up the comments, leave comments. You'll see the comment line, leave comments, good or bad, or if you want merchandise, ask for merchandise. We'll get it out to you.
Swag. You know how hard it was this week to go through that. You know, because I do these previews and everything. You go through this injury report and you're like trying to sift through and you're like, it's COVID. But then, you know, all these guys are starting to come back off of injured reserve because, so like they're saying, you know, they're moving the games around. So like, you know, a guy that maybe wasn't going to play on Saturday might play on Monday or Tuesday. So hit the microphone there. So, yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have to make sure you're checking the injury report constantly, especially this week. Yeah.
It is time for our Parlay Power Plays of the Week. Again, we did very well again last week. It's unbelievable. Again, these picks are free. What we're giving you is free. You'll never have to pay for them. And I'm saying that multiple times because we've been unbelievably successful. We had a couple bad weeks when the underdogs were all winning, and even then we hit our totals very well, our over-unders. But all in all, man, this has been unbelievably successful.
You also
you're welcome.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter, at the Prodigal Sean, at FineLine33, because, once again, we have other stuff. Yeah. Obviously I have, European football. So, and my picks have been unbelievable in that. So I'm just red hot right now. Yeah. So.
It's like, and we can say anything we want, right? But you can go back and look.
Look,
everything's archived.
Look, there's all these people, then you have these services who say, oh, look, man, I hit 5 winners last night in my thing behind a paywall. Well, how do I know that? Like, our picks are out there. Our picks are out there for everyone to see, here and everywhere else. So, we stand behind our stuff, and we've been good. So I think that's the big thing about this.
So, yeah, absolutely. We stand behind it, and we've been really good. So it's our time for our parlay.
Weeks, now we've been fired. The crazy upset weeks.
Yeah. Our parlay power play of the week. And by the way, a reminder, next week, it's bowl season. We're going to get into the bowls next week. There's some good bowls about to take place, and we're going to get into that next week. But for now, our parlay power play of the week, NFL style. Sean, you go first. Who you have on your parlay power play of the week?
All right, so my first game,
week 16.
It's going to be the Sunday night game, hopefully. I'm going to take Dallas minus 9.5 over Washington. Now, look, I don't know what Washington is going to do. Obviously, Tuesday night against the Eagles. If they win, which, Trey hopes they do, they're 7-7. They're right in the middle of the playoff race. If they lose, they're 6-8, and they probably have to win out, which they're probably not going to do. But to me, it doesn't matter right now because Dallas is in the middle of a playoff seeding race. Green Bay's 11-3. That there's 3 teams that are 10-4 right now. The Cardinals are starting to falter a little bit. You got Tampa Bay, obviously faltered and they're banged up. So, Cowboys, if they went out and get to, the 2 seed, I think that's really big because they're playing at home all the way until the championship game. And obviously as a 2, you get to play the 7, who's going to be a bad team. So, I just think I don't really care what Washington does on this Tuesday night game. Obviously, if they get banged up, it's even better. But I'm going to take Dallas, just thinking they have to win. They've already beaten Washington on the road, 27-20. And the last I think the last 5 years, this has been a sweep for the team that won the first game. Washington won both last year, and since the other 3 years before that, it was Dallas. So I'm going to go Dallas there.
So Dallas -9.5 at home against the Washington football team. Number 2 for you.
I'm going to go with one of your early teams here, and I'm going to go against one of the teams that I think is big. I'm going to go Tennessee here over San Fran on Thursday night. I just think, look, San Fran is playing really well. I think this is going to be a close game. 3.5, I think, is a lot. Right now I'm hoping it even goes up to like 4. Tennessee is 9-5. This is a big time game, by the way. 9-5 against 8-6. And they come in opposite trajectories. 49ers are red hot, won 5 of 6. Tennessee's lost 3 of 4. I mean, that game was crazy. They got stopped at the 10. I mean, by the way, I don't know if you watched that game, the Steelers game. Did you that tackle by Hayden?
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable play.
And they gave him a favorable spot.
Oh, that spot was terrible. Yeah. It was a yard behind
terrible.
it. No, I mean, I was watching that. And I'm like, man, my buddy Myron Thiessen from Belize. I mean, he's a big Steelers fan. That crazy play. But I just think that Titans are going to start getting some players back in the fold. And it's at home. I think last chance, last stand. I think Tennessee's a little bit better team than the 49ers. I just think, I might take a chance on the money line straight up. I mean, you can get them at plus, 165 right now. So
Tennessee plus the 3.5 at home against
what do you think
San
about
Francisco.
That game?
Well, we're going to get into that in our primetime bets. Yeah, we'll get into that in primetime bets.
Oh, that's right. It's
I won't give it away. Yeah. All right, and complete your. No, I hit the microphone. Complete your parlay power play of the week.
Man, this game, it's crazy. Cincinnati, Baltimore. I'm going to take Cincinnati minus 2.5. I can't even imagine, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, that if you would have told me this is for the division title, which it might not be because the Steelers are, Steelers have all these games and the Browns have all these games, but this is it. I mean, these two teams are 8-6, and Baltimore's just so decimated. I mean, the Baltimore was a really good team at one point, and they've just had so many. It just happens sometimes. So many injuries and COVID and sickness and illness and whatever.
And they keep going for 2 instead of extra points.
Yeah. I mean, you could kill them for that. Just if it's obviously they make it or whatever. But I just
2 losses because they haven't. No, we don't know that they would have won in overtime, but.
I just think the Bengals are healthier, and the Bengals are they're in a good spot, and I just think you got to take Cincinnati here.
Bengals beat them in Baltimore, so Cincinnati minus 2.5 at home against Baltimore. So Sean's parlay power plays of the week: Dallas minus 9.5 at home against Washington, Tennessee plus 3.5 at home against San Francisco, and Cincinnati minus 2.5 at home against Baltimore. Now, my parlay power plays of the week for week 16, I'm doing something that I don't always like to do, and that is I'm taking
underdogs,
a terrible team as well. I'm taking a terrible team against a terrible team. So I am actually going to have some interest in the Detroit-Atlanta game. I am going to take Detroit plus the 5 at Atlanta. I think this is time for Atlanta to fold their tents for good. Detroit plus 5 at home against Atlanta.
It's interesting.
Detroit's playing hard. They're coming off a big win. So yes, I'm
Falcons are every other week team.
Yeah, I think they're about done. So I'm going to take Detroit plus the 5 at Atlanta. My next game this could surprise you a little bit, but I like the points in this one against the team that's playing is probably maybe better than any other team, but I'm going against them. I'm going to take Pittsburgh plus 10.5 at Kansas City at Arrowhead. Pittsburgh plus 10.5. I don't expect Pittsburgh to win, but I do think it will be close enough where I can take the 10.5 and feel good about it. So I'll take the Steelers plus the 10.5.
I think obviously he's never going to win it, but I think you could make the argument that Mike Tomlin should be the coach of the year.
He's every year he does a great
He's unbelievable.
job.
I mean, it's just that team stinks.
They stink. They stink.
And they're going to finish. They're this close to making the playoffs.
It's a huge game for them. I think they'll play hard, and I think they'll be in it. So I'll take the 10.5, and I will finish my parlay power play of the week with your same third game, and that is Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati at home -2.5 against Baltimore. I think Cincinnati's the better team right now. They'll be at home, so I will give up those 2.5. So my parlay power play is Detroit +5 at Atlanta, Pittsburgh +10.5 at Kansas City, and Cincinnati -2.5 at home against Baltimore.
No thought about taking the Jets-Jaguars game?
No thought about even watching.
This is how big is this for the? It's a massive game for the draft order. If the Jaguars can pick up a huge loss here,
Man,
I mean, how
what
bad?
A horrible game that is. There's a couple real bad games. This week.
There's been a few of those where they've been these matchups,
yeah.
but last week I know Houston and
terrible. So yes, well, pretty much anybody that Jacksonville plays, or the Jets. So they
or the
are
Giants.
our parlay power plays of the week for week 16. Remember, you YouTubers, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, the like, thumbs up. We appreciate it. And we'll be back with our prime time bets of week 16. After this, go to HowToBet.com.
Let's get it.